Peace, family, peace, love and light and transcendence and all that good stuff. Aisha Kali here with a video. Today we're going to talk about the goddess Innana. And I do apologize for the smoke. I got my incense burning, so I do apologize ahead of time if you see the smoke filling the camera screen. But today we are going to talk about the Queen of the Heavens, one of the most powerful Anunnaki gods, the Great One, the daughter of Nana. The reason why the Sumerian, the Anunnaki, the kingdoms were built was because of Inanna. Innana was a very, 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 very powerful goddess. Yet she did receive a bad rep. She received a very bad rap. Her representation, her reputation was not the best. Some due to the fault of her own, others due to the fault of rumors and myths and gossip, and you know how that goes. So I want to come give you all a little insight about Inanna, provide her somewhat, provide her side of the story somewhat as best as I can. But I want to shed some light on her because, like I said, in today's history, she doesn't really get the respect that she has earned. So we are going to talk about Innana, Inanna, Ishtar. You can also associate her with Isis, all great, Queen of the Heavens, Queen of the Heavens, Queen of Love, but also the Queen of War. So don't fuck with her. It's real talk. Like she was the queen of love, but she was also the queen of war. So that means she was very powerful because she was honestly the clear representation of the divine feminine. Inanna was the divine feminine. She was gentle. She was caring. She was loving. She was gracious. She was sensuous. But on the other hand, she also drove a war chariot that was driven by two lions. She was ready to lace her sandals up, lace the jimmies up whenever it was wartime. So that was who she was. She was duality and balance at its finest. When you think about duality, when you think about a balance, when you think about the balance of the divine feminine and the divine masculine, Nana was that depiction. She was that. She was wily. She was beautiful. She was cunning. Her ability to be so cunning is what actually led to the beautiful temples in Uruk. They were actually built for her. They were built for her. So she was spoiled. She was spoiled. She was when she did descend, she did what she had to do. Guess who came to save her? Enkidu. So we're not gonna act as if she was perfect. She was not perfect by any means. She got herself into some shit. Her name was ran through the mud. She didn't always make the most wisest of decisions because of that war mindset that she also embodied. But she was also love. She also had one of the biggest hearts. She was associated with the 8-point star and the lion, also the planet Venus, the Sirius star. So she was associated, she was a very, very, very powerful Anunnaki god. And we'll talk about the Anunnakis in a later video. Today we're going to focus on Innana. I'm going to read a slight excerpt just to give you a glimpse of who Innana was and just to provide you with somewhat of a visual of her power. Then we'll elaborate more on it. And we'll touch on the story of her decision, her one of her not so wise decisions. So this is an excerpt that kind of embodies her how powerful she was. So, at her loud cries, the gods of the land become scared. Her roaring makes the Anunnaki gods tremble like a solitary reed. At her rumbling, they hide all together. Without Inanna, great An makes no decisions, and Elil determines no destinies. Who opposes the mistress who raises her head and is supreme over the mountains? Wherever she cities become ruined mounds and haunted places, and shrines become wasteland. When her wrath makes people tremble, the burning sensation and the distress she causes are like an Ulu demon ensnaring a man. So here we know we have a goddess of great power, a goddess that was not only very gracious, which is the reason why she was so celebrated by the Sumerian people. I mean, they had statues in cities of her because she was so gracious. She made sure she fed the community, the people, knowledge that would allow for them to grow. So she wasn't a stingy God. But as I just noted, as I just read, she was also very, 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 very powerful God. As you hear, I'm gonna elaborate more. On makes no decisions, and Elil determines no destiny without Inanna. So let that settle in for who she was. Yet she was known for stealing other goddesses' powers, her promiscuity. She was very sexual. She was very deceitful. She liked to go to war. I mean, no goddess is pure. Show me a goddess that's 100% pure. But the fact that she was almost the most powerful. I think I'm honestly going to go with the fact that she was the most powerful. But I'll let you all come with your own decisions. But I feel that she was the most powerful. As you see here, An makes no decisions without Inanna. Elil determined no destinies without Innana. So that spoke volumes of her power. But she was also very lion-hearted, which means she had a very big heart, a very grand heart. Like I said, she was the goddess of love and war. So that vibration of love that she vibrated on, because she vibrated on the frequency of love. But that oftentimes that vibration, that frequency of love that she resonated at, often landed her in some unfortunate situations is one that I am going to elaborate on more. Like when she descended. So she descended, she had an older sister, Rishkagal. Rishkagal was the queen of the underworld. Um Inanna, one day she heard Rishkagal's cries from the heavens. Down in the underworld, she was able to hear her sister crying. Come to find out, her sister's husband had just passed away. So Inanna, with the lion heart that she embodied, she said, I'm going to go and I'm going to see my sister. I'm going to comfort my sister, console my sister, and, make sure my sister is good. Not thinking to herself, like Inanna, once you get down to the underworld, no one is granted the permission to ascend again. So she went under in anyway. So she traveled down to she descended down to the underworld anyway. Not wise at all. So she gets down there, her sister, not knowing that she actually came to comfort her in her time of grief, because she heard about her husband passing away. Her sister thought she was coming to be the queen of the underworld. Like, why? I'm the queen of the heavens. Like, why would I come down and want to be queen of the underworld? But to each his own. That's what her sister thought. Like, why would I want to be the queen of ruins? But she had the reputation, the stigma attached to her of wanting to steal other goddesses' powers. Whether or not that's true is yet to be determined. But her Erishkigal thought so. So she advised her servant to let Innana in, let her come in. But as she passes through these 7 portals, I want her to remove an article of clothing. I see Innana was a very fashionable, very elaborate, very fabulous goddess. She adorned herself in gold. She adorned herself in nice fabrics. In fact, she's associated with the color white because of the purity and the beauty that they when she wore her robes. So Inanna went down there and through each portal, as the servant advised, he took an article of her clothing. So that when she ended up at her sister's feet, her sister's throne, she was sullen, embarrassed. Most importantly, she was powerless. Her power was taken through each of those 7 portals, each of those 7 gates. Her power was taken. So she was summoned, of course, when she would go down to the underworld. There's no coming back. So she was summoned. But her sister made it a point to hang her. Now we're gonna leave the story in at right here, but that's not where it ends. Of course, she did. She was able to ascend back up, but we're gonna leave the story right here. We'll pick up on it on the next video. I want to hear your thoughts. Was Innanna wrong for going down there to get to see her sister? Do you all think that Innanna was actually going to steal some of her sister's powers by going down there? So share with me your thoughts. My thoughts, Innanna was very, very misunderstood. That story was a clear representation of how misunderstood she was, how how much she was judged. And I think a lot of it was due to jealousy. She was a very powerful god, one of the 7 great Sumerian Anunnaki gods. So you know that came with a lot of jealousy, also from her sister, as we see. So this is a testament to you. I want you all, if anybody takes anything moralistic from this story, from this particular video, it is, yes, you act out of love. Always act from a place of love. But never let love be the cause of your demise. You hear that? Do not allow love to be the cause of your demise. You always keep your little war tucked in your back pocket. And if you don't know anything else, keep your little readiness tucked in your back pocket. Because that love can sometimes get you into situations that the war got to get you out of. Love sometimes gets you into situations that you got to fight your way out of. So it's all about the power of discernment, always utilizing your intuition. And don't even worry about what they got to say because Innana, she's still powerful. She's still bad. Regardless if her name was drugged through the mud, they said that she was a whore. They said she slept around. They said she was the goddess of sexuality and all of this weird shit. Excuse my language, but all of this weird nonsense. This woman was the queen of the heavens. She acted heavenly until it was time to fight. Those rumors, all jealousy. She wasn't perfect. I just described to you a story, and there's many of stories where she was not perfect. She did not use her discernment to, to make wise decisions. So she wasn't perfect and she wasn't pure, but she was heavenly. She is the queen of the heavens. So I truly feel that her respect is earned. We're gonna close out right here. But Inanna's, Innana, Ishtar, Isis, respect has been earned. There's certain incantations and affirmations. We'll do a video on that as well, where you can call out to Innana, activate the inner Innana, enter the inner Ishtar within you. But today we're gonna close it out. Give a guy some respect. Give her respect. Yes, it has to be earned back, because not only she's done some things that still to this day we trying to figure through. I know, but let's not forget who she was at the core. Love and light.